where she climbed up the ladder to check out the sorority girls, the National Lampoon's Animal House. Off to the driver's side, you'll see a gray house, 1313 Mockingbird Lane, home of the Munsters. Also off to the driver's side is the pale yellow house. It's the home of the Hardy Boys and Lassie, so those classic TV shows. It's also where Macaulay Culkin started that music video for Michael Jackson, Black or White. This pale lavender and yellow house off to the driver's side, numbered 103, is the home of James Gardner and Doris Day, the thrill of it all. James Gardner drove his convertible straight through that driveway and straight into a swimming pool. Now I'd like to welcome everyone to Any Town. Fond memories for you. This is where they filmed Leave It to Beaver. As we swing around, you can look off to the driver's side once again. You'll see a brick building labeled Town Hall. That used to be the schoolhouse for the Bee in Leave It to Beaver. Nowadays we use it as downtown Cabot Cove, Maine for Murder, She Wrote. And for a brand new Amblin production, a movie called Casper, which will come to your theaters very soon. These houses off to the driver's side were used in a movie called The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher. That's a funny movie. If you saw it, you recognize the Fishkill house off to the driver's side. It's the home of the Klopeks, those crazy neighbors that terrorized Tom Hanks in the film. Living right next door in this big, huge gray house was the home of Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher in that film. You know, Tom Hanks is here at Universal. He's filming a brand new movie called Apollo 13. It's being directed by Ron Howard. The movie also stars Gary Sinise, Kevin Bacon, Ed Harris, Bill Paxton, just name a few of the big stars. As we turn the corner, you can look off to the driver's side. This big greenhouse is the home of Nancy Drew, the detective. And next door is that White House in green trim, the home of Ben Matlock. Matlock is a Viacom series that stars Andy Griffith. Those are facades, it's just the front and sides of the buildings that you saw in those TV shows. But this house off to the driver's side is a little different. It's not a facade. That's a practical set, which means we can film indoors and outdoors of that house. You might recognize it if you are a Murder, She Wrote fan. It was used in Murder, She Wrote. And most known as a chicken ranch, Miss Mullen's Chicken Ranch, in the best little horror house in Texas. You can see several houses off to my stride. Down the hill, they filmed a very classic movie called To Kill a Mockingbird. Next area is what we call Old Mexico. We can transform it into any Mexican city. For TV shows like Simon and Simon, the classic TV show, Sequest even filmed in this area. And they also filmed Three Amigos, starring Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short in a Ryan film. But only at Universal can we take you from Mexico, cross the border into Texas, do it just like that. Into 6 Points, Texas, that is. Here we are, to 6 Points, Texas. We call this 6 Points, Texas because we have 6 separate streets that represent 6 totally different western towns. Each town has its own saloon, sheriff station, general store, which allowed us to film 6 westerns all at the same time. Back in the old days, we made over 200 westerns a year here at Universal Studios. Carl Lumley, our founder here at Universal Studios, used to set up bleachers in the streets. He used to invite the public to come on in to see great westerns being filmed live. People could cheer as loud as they wanted to for the good guys and boo even louder for the bad. All of our films were silent back in those days. Outside, filmed through the windows to stay nice and dry. That was used recently for a new Fox TV show called Virtual Reality that you'll see very soon. Up to my side, you'll notice we throw nothing away. This is our prop graveyard. The gray spaceship was used in The Thing, starring Kurt Russell. Many of the Army vehicles were used in MacArthur, starring Gregory Peck. And a small lake off to my side became the entire Pacific Ocean in McHale's Navy, starred Tim Conway and Ernest Borgnine. I think I should tell you that there is a rumor about this area. It's just a silly rumor, but it's said that the crew of McHale's Navy left a couple of underwater mines in these waters, but I don't know. I guess it's true. We better look out for some more underwater mines just in case. Right now, get ready as we go through the Red Sea, inspired by the 10 Commandments, where Charlton Heston, as Moses stood on the cliff, raised his staff, commanded the waters to part. Part the waters! And that's how we do it here in the Hollywood. Let's see if it works. Ray, stop. Ray, stop. Stop! Yes, pick up anything off the floor. Please remain sitting. Keep your arms, legs inside the tram because we're going to go under the sea. We're going to go through the Red Sea. You might remember Charlton Heston as well as standing on that cliff, raising his staff, commanding the waters apart. I don't know about this, but here we go. Ray, I'm going to kill you. Definitely pick up stuff off the ground. Okay, I'd like to go. This is the Red Sea. Isn't this just great? Let's get out of here. I had my eye on a certain prop for a long time. Is that sword that Kirk Douglas used in Spartacus? I love that sword. I always like to come over here because this is where they filmed Spartacus. This is ancient Rome, where we filmed that classic movie that starred Kirk Douglas, Sir Laurence Olivier, and Tony Curtis. We even filmed part of The Shadow, starred Alec Baldwin, Tim Curry, and Penelope Ann Miller from Carlina's Way. It's like the only time I've seen the third or fourth car. How you guys doing? It's the only time. My fourth car. Now, it's no secret that we go to many exotic locations in film movies and TV shows, but to be honest with you, Universal likes to save money whenever they can, and we stay right here in our back lot as much as possible. This next area comes in handy when we need a European setting. This is what we call Little Europe, and we can transform it into any European town. All we really do is change the language on the signs. This row we're on is the road Billy Crystal, Bruno Kirby, and Daniel Stern are charged by the bull for the Tasserottville City Slickers. On to my side is yet another very classic location. This is called the Court of Miracles, where just about every classic movie monster roamed the strip band, starring Lon Chaney, the Mummy, the Hunchback, and Frankenstein's monster himself, Boris Karloff, walked through that big, huge archway, carrying a young child in his arms. You recognize this? That you see actually burnt down in a bad fire that we had here at Universal Studios, but with the help of actually a styrofoam, foam rubber, and fiberglass. Because of the rain, we do not have much going on our back lot except inside of the sound stages. We do have a lot of filming going on sound stages throughout our back lot and our front lot. Up ahead is Sound Stage 50. It's one of our biggest and oldest sound stages here at Universal Studios. We are currently filming our newest action-adventure film inside the soundstage. And of course, some of you have probably seen our newest action-adventure film, Street Fighter, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Well, this movie is much like that, and it's being filmed right now. The crew and the actors are on their first break, so Universal's allowing us to take you through, let you see what a real movie set looks like. Now, don't get too excited, the actors are not in here yet. It's just the sets, but take a picture because when you see the movie, and I know you all will, because it's going to be a big hit released in August, you can tell all of your friends you're actually on the real movie set. I'll tell you more about the actual movie in a second. Let me point out a couple of things. This is a replication of a real subway station. Now, the movie is being filmed on location in New York City and San Francisco. This is only used for special effects scenes. Now, it's what we call a hot set, which means it's fully decorated and fully ready for filming. Those are the details in which make this a real pretty incredible. Now, I know you want to know the title of the film, so you know what the that was just a little scrap. big one. Earthquake simulates a devastating 8.3 earthquake. Of course, we staged that very safely for you, and that whole effect you just went through, everything you saw, resets itself in less than 30 seconds for the next unsuspecting people. And you know that whole story about the movie filming in it, that was kind of a lie. Oh, it was worth it though. Now, once again, we look out to the driver's side, you get another look of our western streets. Now, I want to point these out. This is the oldest location on our back lot, and many of the buildings on our western streets are built only on a 7/8 scale, which back in the old days gave the illusion of the actors like John Wayne being bigger than life. And they literally were. When the men stood against the smaller buildings, they were bigger and broader and masculine. If you look out to the driver's side, there's a soundstage that we nicknamed the 747 soundstage. Inside we have two interiors of airplanes. So if you see a movie with the airplane in it, it was probably filmed inside that soundstage. The movies like Die Hard 2 were filmed there. Harry Met Sally was filmed in this area, inside that soundstage. And even so realistic, those airplanes were also used in airline commercials. Alright folks, we're going to stop telling you about history. We're going to take you back to the future. We're on that very road that Barney McFly, Doc Brown drove that old Delorean 88 miles per hour to go back in time. Welcome to Hill Valley, everyone. This is Courthouse Square out to the driver's side, where we filmed all three Back to the Future movies.
Burned down too.
That clock tower should look a little familiar to you, especially if you went on Back to the Future the ride. That clock tower is the same one you crash through. You drive right through to go Back to the Future. That's also where Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, harnessed that bolt of lightning that propelled Barney McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future. This is the most seen location on our back lot, seen in more movies and TV shows than any other location. This whole area was completely covered with artificial snow and seen in the opening scene as Sneaker, starring Robert Redford. If you saw the movie, it's on video, you can rent it. You'll see the young Robert Redford character running across this college campus, falling down in the snow. Well, you'll know, and only you will know, that's right here in our back lot, Courthouse Square. All right, we're moving on to what we call our metropolitan streets. We can turn these into any city, any neighborhood, any time period in history. All we do is bring out the right props. These streets have been seen in TV shows like Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman. They filmed here just about a week ago, so look for it in upcoming episodes. Buildings are used for outdoor street scenes, but sometimes we need a little bit more control over lighting and sound and have to build entire sections of cities within sound stages, so get your cameras ready. I hear there's a lot of strange things going on inside the sound stage. I don't know about this.
Destruction continues east, causing thousands to flee their homes. Police admit that they are powerless to stop the enraged beach. Military units are rushing to the scene. East was last sighted near the 200 block of Old Fulton Avenue.
Oh no, that's where we are.
Coverage on the scene with our helicopter reporter, Kelly King.
We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train. The helicopter beside us is searching for... Wait! There's a tram load of people down there. We've got to go down and warn them. Attention, people on the tram. You are in danger. Repeat, you are... Don't have to go down and help them. You have to say, I see a man.
Oh no, look out! Look out, Victor, look out! Oh no, Ray, let's get out of here quick! Uh-oh. I see gorillas in the mist. Oh no! There he is! I don't believe it! It's King Kong! Look out! Oh no, he's got a hold of the cables! Let's bring him up! describe King Kong, the world's largest animated creature. He stands at over 30 feet tall, weighs over 13,000 pounds, 600 pounds of which was all hair. King Kong made his movie debut in 1933 with actress May Ray. He came to New York City in the 1930s with the movie The Shadow, which starred Alec Baldwin, Tim Curry, and Penelope Ann Miller from Carlito's Way. For The Shadow, they filmed that all right here in our backlot, so they really transformed this area into the 1930s. Speaking of Seattle, the movie Harry and the Hendersons starring John Lithgow, and off to my side, that street is the street that Macaulay Culkin ran down in the 20th Century Fox film Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. This became London at the turn of the century in Bram Stoker's Dracula, Columbia Picture, and London in Wayne's World 2, a Paramount film. Right now, they're getting ready for filming of a new movie called How to Make an American Quilt, a movie that will star Winona Ryder, coming right here at Universal Studios. Now, all these buildings that you see actually burnt down in a really bad fire that we had here about 4 years ago. But with the help of Academy Award-winning art directors and with the help of Steven Spielberg, they rebuilt all of these buildings to be exact replicas of the original buildings. So actually, they're the newest structures that we have in our backlot. That's why we thought it might be appropriate to take you to the oldest structure next. It's coming up on my side. So if you want to get your cameras ready, I highly recommend you getting a picture. This is so historic. Back in 1915, Universal Studios was founded by Carl Laemmle. This bridge that you will see off to my side was the first thing they ever built. So the bridge has been around a long time. First used for a silent western film, the bridge has also been used for westerns throughout the years, and for new TV shows and movies that film here at Universal Studios all the time. So when we take you over the bridge, I will... Excuse me. Folks around may be able to take you over the bridge today. I apologize. We're going to take a back road, a side road, to show you a great view of the backlot. So... What do you do? He's just joking, you guys. We're not really going over the bridge. We're not going over this bridge. We're not... Okay, that was... Come on, Ray. We're not... Okay, this is part of the tour. Actually, we're supposed to go over the bridge. There's nothing to worry about. If you want to, look out to my side. Now, notice the backs of the facades that you see. They're made of... Ray, we should ride this. I'm going to kill you. Oh. I am so sorry. What's got in you, Ray? We could have died on that bridge. This is very serious. From now on, you better just listen to me, because who's the boss here? Who's the boss, Ray? It's Japanese. Operates hydraulically, and yes, you can see the bridge put itself back together again. The bridge is used for TV shows like Quantum Leap, starring Scott Bakula and Steve Stockwell, The $6 Million Man, and The Bionic Woman. We do have a lot of illusions for you today on this tram ride tour, but when it comes to our movies and TV shows, we're a little bit more serious. We want everything to at least appear to be realistic for the cameras. That's why we had this very, very large greenery department off to the driver's side. We have over 5,000 different plants and trees that range from the size of 2 inches to 30 feet tall. They're all film I highly recommend. The A-Team Man from A-Team starring Mr. T and George Papard. Several picture cards are Back to the Future. There's the Delorean, the flying taxi cab for the year 2015, and the black convertible that Biff drove in the 1950s. But do not put your cameras down, because something big is up ahead. Actual sets used in a movie called The Flintstones. Welcome to Bedrock, everyone, where we filmed The Flintstones. These sets were used, and off to the driver's side is Barney Rubbles' house from the film. I star John Goodman as Fred Flintstone, Rick Moran as Barney Rubble, and Elizabeth Taylor as the mother-in-law Pearl. These are prehistoric picture cars off to my side of the tram.
This side here. Here's the car.
Now, The Flintstones was produced by Steven Spielberg, who directed the movie, the biggest one of all time. Onto the driver's side, some final picture car is the Jeep, the Tyrannosaurus Rex chased that hit movie, Jurassic Park. Ooh. Now on video, by the way. Actually, if you haven't seen Jurassic Park, see it. It's on video. You can actually own your own copy. See the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Raptors, all the dinosaurs whenever you want to. Some of that movie is filmed right here at Universal Studios on the sound stages, and the rest was filmed in Hawaii on location. our own concoction as a rainstorm provided by Universal Studios. Actually, the way we achieve this rainstorm effect is put sprinklers in the trees. We point them up towards the sky. When the water falls, it falls very... Do you hear that? You might want to point your cameras towards that tree, towards the top of the hill, and cover up anything that might get wet, because look out, there's a flash flood that's coming our way. A problem here in Hollywood right now. Uh-oh, watch out for the falling tree back there, second car. That's what we call maybe making magic. You know, you might want to take a picture of that. You can go home to all of your friends who are in the middle of the floods here in Hollywood, which they won't be able to tell the difference between our flood and the real thing. The way we achieve this flash flood effect is dump 10,000 gallons of recycled water from the top of the hill. Same rainstorm effect we used in The River, starring Sissy Spacek and Mel Gibson. Also used in a movie called Fletch Live, starring Chevy Chase. You might want to take your seats because we're moving on. Once again, you know, Chevy Chase filmed 3 Amigos in this area that we call Old Mexico. Once again, look at these buildings. They are not real. In fact, all the buildings that you've seen today on the Backlot are fake buildings. Styrofoam, foam rubber, fiberglass. You can see a little bit of chicken wire sticking out there. What we call facades. Uh-oh. Her luck hasn't been bad enough. We are entering Amity, that small town terrorized by the great white shark in the movie Jaws. I told you we were going to check this out, investigate, get your cameras ready. You may see what I'm talking about. There are sharks in these waters. Wait a minute, what's George doing? That's our friendly fisherman George out there. See him? He's been trying to catch Jaws in that small fishing pole, which is noble but crazy. And whoa, wait a minute, Ray, stop. We need to watch. George! Hey, George, there's a shark coming in, buddy! No, I'm not kidding, George. Really, there's a shark. Look out! Huh? It's a shark. What? A shark, George. Oh no! Help! 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 Oh, George, you had a lot of guts, didn't you? Oh,
good.
See that yellow float attached to the pier out there in the middle of the lake? Look, come straight out towards the yellow float. If Jaws takes a shark, you just might get a picture of a great white. Why is that music playing? Go up this hill, look very closely off to the driver's side, get a nice view of Jaws Lake, which also doubles as quaint cabin cove Maine in the hit CBS series Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. Murder, She Wrote films right here at Universal Studios at all times. Quite often on soundstage on our front lot, but also throughout our back lot as well. I've been mentioning it during the tour. In fact, once again, off to my side, you'll see more locations used by Murder, She Wrote, which stars Angela Lansbury and Jessica Fletcher. Murder, She Wrote filmed a lot last season at Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch, the best little horror house in Texas, off to my side of the tram. We drove past it a while back, but I wanted to point out something else about the Chicken Ranch. Remember how I told you it was not a facade, you could film indoors and outdoors? Well, the Chicken Ranch splits down the middle. So you pull it apart like a big huge dollhouse, and that's how they film the indoor scenes. Of course, it is used for Murder, She Wrote. In fact, Jessica Fletcher does all of her gardening right in the backyard of the Chicken Ranch. This is actually a replication of a real chicken ranch in Austin, Texas. And the establishing shots for Federal Horror House in Texas were actually filmed in Texas. As we go up the hill off to my side, actually the driver's side, you'll see a big brown house. That is a very old house, a house of 7 gables. It's an old horror movie that starred Vincent Price. And Speaking of horror movies, with this rain, I'm in the mood. I am in the mood to tell you the story. Now, I'm not supposed to tell you the story. I could get fired. Universal would like to forget what happened on this road 30 years ago, but I can't forget. You must know. It's very bad. It was about 30 years ago. I remember it well. It was a dark and stormy night. And this young woman named Mary Crane, nice lady, driving all alone on this very same road. Well, she was looking for a place to stay for the night, and she found one too. It was a small motel with 12 rooms, 12 vacancies. It was run by an odd little man named Norman Bates. She checked in, but she never checked out. Get your cameras ready, because there it is off to the driver's side, that very famous house from the movie Psycho. I told you we'd go closer up, so get your cameras ready. We're going to go straight up to the Psycho house and the Bates Hotel. Psycho House was built on a 3/4 scale. Alfred Hitchcock wanted to create the illusion of the Psycho House being much further away from the Bates Hotel than it actually is. And off to my side, you'll see the Bates Hotel. It's what we call a facade, and it was only used for outdoor scenes. As you turn the corner, you get an excellent view of the Psycho House in the background. You can even see the top window of the house where Mother used to sit and rock her. I just thought I saw someone in the house. Did you see that? Look at me like I'm crazy. I'm used to that. I've seen something in the house 4 days in a row. I tell the driver, hey, you're naughty. And then they laugh in the brain and they call me names, right, Ray? Yeah. Do me a favor. Look out to the driver. Say, look at that top window. You see what I saw? Please call Ray. Is that top window, the one place where you bend down and look right out there, because I saw it yesterday. It was pretty far back. Ray, would you just look? Come on, Ray, look. Did you see that? Did you see that? You saw it. You saw it. Yes. Ray, I have proof. They saw it. They saw it. It's Mother. She's still rocking it to all these. Ray, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Tell me how to drive. I'm not crazy. I'm not. You know, this log cabin next to the Psycho House is much different. We filmed indoors and outdoors, and it was used in Naked Gun 33 1/3, the final insult, a Paramount film starring Leslie Nielsen, and The Great Outdoors starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. That red log cabin off to the driver's side was used in a cable series called Tales from the Crypt. In fact, we have a movie out in theaters right now based on that cable series called Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Nights. Side on top of the hills. The neighborhood where Beethoven lived in the first movie starring Charles Grodin, and in the sequel Beethoven's Second. And off to my side, you can't miss it, is the largest standing backdrop in Hollywood. It's being painted right now. It used to be a blazing sunset for Sequest and DSV, and a Guns N' Roses music video on MTV. At one time, it even became the Bahamas for Dogs for Revenge starring Michael Caine. I wish we were in the Bahamas right now. I'm cold and wet. That happens when you travel up to 12,000 feet elevation like we have. With all the rain, we got a little snow up here last night. This is a lot for us. The road we usually take is sort of blocked off. We're going to take a shortcut through this ice tunnel, which is safe. Of course it's safe. As long as you stay very, very the side is still good tree now. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Let's just do it. Be quiet. I said, shh. We're going to die. Say your prayer. We're going to die. I can't believe it. once lanes, it does not even tilt a little. It was just the walls moving round and round and round, and that made your stomach move round and round and round, and you got a little dizzy, and you were leaning, and you know who you are. Don't feel bad because we go through this 5 to 6 times a day. You think we would catch on by now, but no. Rain falls for it every single time, so don't feel bad. Now, if you get your cameras ready out to my side of the tram after it does this green wall, it's a great view over San Fernando Valley. You're going to get an excellent view of it, so you might want to get your cameras ready. Up to the right, you will see the Warner Brothers Studios. They're our neighbors. If you look down, you get a nice view of the historic Backlot where we were a moment ago. And you also see the first view that our friend E.T. saw when he first came to Earth, and his spaceship abandoned him more than 11 years ago. Hey, look, we're going to stop you for a second, so if you want to take a picture, get your cameras ready. Until Jurassic Park came along, E.T. was the #1 box office hit of all time. It had been for over 11 years. So impressive. Then Jurassic Park opened, things changed big time. Within only months, it moved up to the #1 spot. Took it away from E.T. Well, folks, the tram tour is almost over. You might want to pull out your show schedules and your maps and decide what you're going to see next. There's so much to do. You want to plan ahead. If you want to stay up at the entertainment center where you're at right now, you can see all the